Established in 1954, so we've been around for just 51 years actually. I think it was 15 beds initially. Bit by bit by bit, it's built up. We now have 72 beds overall.
It is a charitable trust, and the whole idea is to give a very good service to the local elderly people.
The tidal wave, basically, of elderly people coming because of the baby boomers. We know that. People we care for getting older, frailer, much more dependent. Our staff's workload is going up all of the time.
We started off with managers who really had practically no experience in this sort of work. They just came from their farms and took over and started to manage the place. We've now got a truly professional person running the home here, and Jackie, she's just tops.
Working in aged care is not seen as an attractive part of nursing, certainly. It's very hard, it's very difficult. You have to either love working with elder people or you can't do it at all. So these people who work here are very special.
No, it's not a glamour industry. I mean, gosh, we're right on the minimum adult wage there. It's not for money, it's for enjoyment, it's for sense of achievement, it's betterment of everyone that works here, yeah.
We need to be able to reduce the turnover that we have in this industry. In some areas of the country, it's as high as 50%. For us, we've reduced our turnover. It was, 32% when I arrived, and with the initiatives that we've put in place, we've reduced that down to 15%.
And reception.
So we've got to make sure that we can do the job that we need to do within the funding that we have. So we've got to work smarter and not harder.
And also working in company with the community all the time.
I guess a change comes through education or somebody's good idea, and this particular change in teamwork came through education, and that was me going on an EMA course through Massey University, Organisation and Management. Revelation to me. It took me 2 years to implement the things that I had learned, and part of that was the rotational team leadership that I really liked the idea of. What we've done is we've developed teams, and we work in areas. Everybody, gets to know who they're caring for really well. That works really well because the residents know who's caring for them, and they develop relationships.
Oh, that was good, because you knocked those out.
When we first started to think about this and had the meetings to talk to the staff about it, oh no, we don't want to work in teams, we like to be moved around the place. So they like to stay 2 days here and they wanted to move to the next place, and that's what was happening. They were moving around the building every week or so, dealing with a whole new set of people, and it just wasn't efficient, it wasn't effective. And then we started to roster them into those areas.
We do.
Slowly but surely, they began to like this. They could see the benefits of it, and nobody wanted to move anymore. This is the problem now. Nobody wants to move.
The results that we're seeing so far is that the teams are beginning to function as a team instead of as individuals. People seem happier, more inclined to participate and to motivate each other. That's forming a culture in itself where everyone's going to work to the best level that they can.
It builds up a confidence, it builds up a friendly atmosphere, builds up an atmosphere where people are happy to come to work.
And happy staff makes for happy residents too, and if you've got happy residents, then the workload decreases further again because, they're more cooperative.
So it's actually made life a lot better and happier. I have noticed that the staff is much happier.
When we first did a staff survey here, one of the problems was that communication wasn't that great. They felt communication wasn't that great. So we've reorganised the organisation, if you like. We've redrawn our organisation chart, and we've turned it upside down. So, for example, the trustees used to be at the top, and I was next to them, very high up here. What we've done is we've inverted it, and trustees and myself are down here, and direct frontline staff are at the top. I think that makes them feel valued. And the other thing in that organisation chart change was we actually linked our team communicators, which that was another initiative, developing those skills, directly with HR, Human Resource Manager, who actually has meetings with them and brings their feedback to the management team, and Sally, our HR manager, feeds back to them directly.
So what's happening is that the message from, say, the nurse manager is getting across to various shifts, the night shift, and it's not just stagnating at a certain point. The team communicators are taking it on and letting their teams know about it, informing them of any decisions that have been made, etc., and getting their input back, obviously. So now we need to know how to get there. Jackie wants to know the changes that you need to be made so that you can get there.
Girls come up with ideas and they think maybe we should take it to the other teams. Then we get together and we all talk about it and see how we can incorporate it in with our daily routines and everything, and if it would work or not.
They share ideas. That's really important. They share ideas between teams and they work together on improvements. We've tried to make sure that the staff have the tools with which to work. So we've done a lot of applications for grant applications, and we've got a lot of funding for hoists, particularly ceiling hoists and special chairs and special beds. Over a 5-year period, our back injuries were 270 days off work.
kg limit was introduced so that staff wouldn't get back injuries, because I believe there was over $30 million, I think it was, paid out through ACC for back injuries in the profession.
So we paid for her salary, and we gave her 0.5 of time to be that patient handling advisor for the training, so it's ongoing.
And we've got a little orientation booklet which we give them when they start on how to look after their backs, you know, with the things that they need to look for if they get a sore back, and exercises to help strengthen their back, and it's their responsibility to do that.
And because a lot of us never did exercises and that, you know, you get up out of bed, I'm late, take off to work. I've actually hurt myself doing that.
So it took about a year to get it all implemented by the time we went through the training process and setting all the policies in place, all the guidelines that we needed to do to let the residents' families know what we were doing so that they were okay for their families to be lifted and moved in the safest way possible, so that it was safe for them and for the staff.
That's had a dual effect of reducing our back injuries down to 0 over the last 3 years.
We don't have the work injuries like we used to have, and they're responsible for their own health as well, and the Switzer's responsibility is to ensure that we have the equipment for them to move and handle residents safely.
Well, it took us quite a while to actually get used to the no lifting policy. We were just so all gung-ho at the time, you know, just straight in there and do it. We actually had to teach ourselves to stop.
I think it helps us to retain our staff because they're not pushed as hard as they were. So that's been a great initiative.
It is a tricky one to measure. It's not like we have a production line where we can do X amount of boxes quicker, but just going around and having that general feel about the home, that it's a place where, one, you want to work, people aren't off sick so much, absenteeism lowers, yeah, all those factors come into it.
I feel valued here by staff and residents. Actually, it's just like one big family here.
The investment of time, effort and money has been extremely worthwhile in that we are seeing much happier staff. Our staff attrition is down between 15 and 22% from 35. We're seeing less bad backs and basically a much happier team who are much more empowered to make change and improvements. So yes, it's been worthwhile, but good things take time, but it's worth waiting for them. It will happen.